Bryson DeJuan Tiller, born January 2nd, 1993. In a time where R&B music is almost becoming like the deceased memory of the hip-hop group, today's feature really had a chance to bring it all back. I think the culture is waiting for strong black R&B music to make a return, and not in the sense of a couple people doing it here and there, but to the point it's just as popular as hip-hop, or whatever you will call the destruction of what hip-hop has become. Nonetheless, it is popular. In this more hardened drill rap / Rico rap days, a guy like Bryson Tiller would flourish. What's more is his style of Trapsoul was genius, leading into what you have in hip-hop now, and from time to time, he would pop up on his own song and lay a rap 16 or a few bars now and again. It was dope, to be honest, which is why his first and second album did so well. I remember him hitting the mainstream scene with the single Don't and album Trapsoul and thinking, wow, this is exactly what hip-hop and R&B needs right now. An actual singer that can rap and has fresh new concepts or spin on hip-hop and R&B music. Yes, of course, there's Drake, but I think Drake has always had to play behind a barrier of being light-skinned and not from America. He also isn't what you would call a singer, rather a rapper that sings. While Drake does make great music when he's in his pockets, for Bryson, at least to me, it was much more effortless. And he was a dark-skinned American male that, whether you believe in colorism or not, subconsciously that helped his case as the new guy on the scene. That element has been missing since Chris Brown way back in the day. His debut album was testament to that. The support he received initially in R&B was outstanding. Trapsoul went 3 times platinum, with his singles Don't and Exchange both going 7 times platinum, and a third single, Sorry Not Sorry, going double platinum. That's 20 million sold off his first album alone, just in the United States, not factoring recurring streams yet accounted for or future streams. Bryson was well on his way to being a complete star. Album number 2, released nearly 2 years later, was also a success, being his first #1 album and accompanied by singles that individually went gold or platinum. All that success he was having was not only because he's a good artist with a sound unique to him, but shows the void and demand in R&B that he had the chance to fill and was doing that until it just stopped. What stunted Bryson Tiller's growth? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Bryson Tiller is a singer, rapper, and songwriter from Louisville, Kentucky that got his big break in 2014 after releasing the song Don't on SoundCloud. It was perfect because at the time, SoundCloud was the wave. Many artists were using it to blow up, and record companies followed suit in digging through SoundCloud to find the next big thing. They didn't have to look hard. Tiller was a breath of fresh new air. Everything was different but similar at the same time, as he had this aura about him that made him relatable to the regular guy, even maybe to a fault. After the song hit major streaming platforms like Apple and Spotify in 2015, plus the signs of approval from guys like DJ Khaled, Drake, Timbaland, and other artists remixing his song, Tiller was out of here. Drake would actually offer to sign him to OVO, but instead he took a deal with RCA in August 2015 and wasted no time releasing his debut a few months later. His Exchange single gave him his first Grammy nomination and helped his entrance in hip-hop become a success. Stunt number 1, built for it. My very first experiences diving into Bryson Tiller,
monetizing.
Oh God, that was crazy.
Big pause. Big pause.
or should I say his music, I could tell he could possibly struggle with one thing. He never seemed he had the personality and the charisma to be in entertainment. But you know what? It worked for him initially to be this behind the shadows character. He didn't do many interviews, rarely made use of things like Instagram and social media, and when he did, it seemed he was hiding from the light. It made him interesting and intriguing at first, But as time went on and you saw he was really a shy person who wasn't doing it as a persona, but that's just who he was, it made it easy to forget he was even around. Of course, when the music was hot and more consistent than it became, it didn't matter, and like mentioned, his fans appreciated that about him. But later down the line, when the music took breaks like from 2017 until 2020, 3 years not releasing an album, or from 2020 to now and still no new album or popular music, it's hurting his career on paper, not having a way his fans can see him daily and feel as if they can grow together, as fans in today's era like to do. Yes, he has things like his gaming channel, but most his music fans or borderline fans that like him for the music aren't aware of that avenue and may not be the gamer types like they are glued to their phones and social media. Now that he's had success and doesn't have to cater to any fan, his need to supply the demand for his attention seems on the back burner for Pen Griffey as he transitions into other life paths. Stunt number 2, different agendas. As I'm writing these stories, I always try to remember an important life rule. Not everyone that does similar or the same thing came into it with the same expectations. Not because we both work at Walmart mean the both of us aspire to one day become manager at that company. You may be thinking, hey, I just need a few months to do this or that, while I'm eyeing CEO or some other advancement within said company. Entertainment is no different. I've always felt like Mike Epps could have evolved into a really dynamic actor, but it never seemed he made that push and was always content with the life he built. A lot of entertainers are content with the success and money they've secured and then quietly move to the background to enjoy the lives they've built or do other things while still in the prime of that life. Bryson Tiller seems to be in that category, and why wouldn't he be? I'm sure he's made enough money, experienced the fame since 2015. Now he wants to play video games as well as go to school to learn how to develop them, while releasing music here and there. Nothing's wrong with that. As a person with many different life goals, I champion that. Doesn't mean that's good for the growth of his music career. Stunt number 3, the peak didn't last. Everything mentioned made Bryson Tiller's peak seem very short, with not much future expectations for that to change. From 2015 to 2017's True to Self release was the moment where Tiller should have been lining things up for the future. A way to evolve while keeping the name hot. Some artists branch off into movies, some sign younger talents to re-energize them, or work with new artists giving them a new wave to ride for a few years. Some even develop businesses like clothing brands that relate to the culture as a way to stay on the minds of the people looking to pay attention. Bryson just seemed content with staying normal, and that's okay too. It's who he is. He's always talked about not being comfortable on stage since he is an introverted person and had never performed before Trapsoul took off so fast. Him doing things to allow his peak to continue like other artists, for example Drake does, is just not natural. Drake never seen a wave he wasn't open to trying. Things like award hosting, SNL, late shows, features, collab albums, beef. Drake has done it all, and all of it has helped his peak last a decade or more. All in all, Bryson Tiller is a talented artist that I can respect for not trying to oversaturate the industry with himself and has goals to be more than a musician. He opened the door for himself, had great success, and now is ready to venture into other things. All fine. But musically, he does leave much to be desired from a fan's perspective, and you wish you could get him to do more, but that's just not who he is. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth is being stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.